There's been a number of inquiries as to my opinion on the whole conflict right now with Eastern Europe, and if we should be afraid of nuclear war and all that stuff. And I don't think so. My theory stands. I think that after... Well, let's get to this before that. There's a way to test wine to make sure that it is authentic before 1940, I believe. I don't know, 1941 or 43, whatever. Anyway, if you have a bottle of wine from the 1930s and you want to make sure that it's authentic, what you would do is a cesium test. Is you would extract a little bit of the wine and test it for something called cesium. Cesium is a particle that is in the atmosphere of the Earth, but it hasn't always been. After the first detonation of a nuclear warhead, cesium filled everything. To the point where wine corked before that didn't have it in it. Okay? If you do enough digging, you'll understand that there have been significant amounts of UFO activity shortly after, well, in the recent coming years after the nuke blew up, you know, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And they've been reported to pop up around silos and then just hover for a couple of seconds and then disappear. Seemingly nothing, but we don't see what's inside of the silo. The report says that they melted the warheads, which would actually make sense if that's the story, that they knew where the warheads were and that they had a reason for melting them, because when we detonated it, we don't understand that there's a, well, first of all, with a nuclear blast, there's an EMF, which is an electromagnetic pulse. Huge, that just knocks out anything electrical, but usually it doesn't matter because the nuke's a nuke and everything's fucked anyway. But the EMF, I think, travels much further. I don't know about cesium, I don't know what that's all about, but I do know that if that's the case, then they must have felt it, came to Earth and said, what the fuck are y'all doing? Can't be doing this nuke stuff. And they started melting our warheads. So I don't think anybody has a nuke big enough to work. Yes, there are nuclear reactors, there's nuclear power plants, but I don't think we have like the H-bomb. Maybe, then again, maybe I'm wrong and there's no aliens, who knows? But I don't think we have to worry about nuclear war, because if you just think about what's going on, like, nobody would benefit from that. Putin wouldn't benefit from it, even if he was at his last leg and everybody was like, fuck you, you know, he still wouldn't push the button because you're just fucking everything up, you know what I mean? So people are saying that he's desperate, he's got nothing to lose. Of course he's going to say the word nuke if he's going to start a conflict. But if you think about it, like everything you're watching right now, all the news, me talking about it on the TV, all you hear is Ukraine and Russia, who's Joe's taking sides, oh my God, maybe nukes, maybe World War III, every single channel. Now think about this. Every single channel is playing this. What does that mean? That means that there's something going on that you're not seeing because of this. This wasn't just miraculously sprung upon us, that it's infiltrated every single parts of our lives. You can't go anywhere without hearing about it now, right? Now, if you're Putin, do you really go to war unprepared? Let me tell you about his campaign video to become president of Russia. He used to work for the KGB, which is like the FBI. And his campaign video, part of it, or one of them, was him during training taking on 3 opponents with hand-to-hand combat. So in the KGB, you train at hand-to-hand combat. 3 guys jump you, you got to beat the shit out of them. He did it, no problem, got him the presidency. Now that's where we are. So a man like that doesn't really go to war, even if it is with Ukraine, which, by the way, has a lot of nukes for no reason, and especially unprepared. Now, Russian stock market closed, right? Their ruble's down 30%. Putin, you didn't think he would know that this was coming? Something reminds me about what Dan Pena said about who is behind Bitcoin, and what the reason for all of this is. And today I heard the Timcast guy talking about Tim, I guess, talking about Russia and China, talking about switching their economy to Bitcoin or digital currency, and that you're using this as a jump starting point because the ruble is worthless. And a lot of people right now in Russia, in Ukraine, are spending their money like crazy because they know that inflation will happen and the ruble will be worth even less. So while they have the money to spend it, they are. I think this is a front. I think this is a front. And the other thing that really kind of struck my oddity about this is that Chernobyl. Russia was desperate to get Chernobyl. Kiev, I understand why they would want Kiev. It's Kiev. But why Chernobyl? It's not operational. There's 4 reactors there. I think one of them is just obviously fucked, and then the other 3, I don't think they're working. But even if there were, there's still a zone that's unable to be occupied because of how bad the disaster was. So what is the reason here? We're missing something. We're missing one key piece to this. And yes, of course, there's all the other things that are combined. You know, the rates are going to go up, you know, blah, 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 blah. Russian women OnlyFans accounts are shutting down. They're not making, Russian hookers aren't making money anymore. You know what I mean? So, like, he's fucking it up a lot. So right now he's going to be in a really tough spot. But he's still not going to push the button. Because 1, I don't think he has any nukes. And 2, this is not wise. I think this is all a play. And while we're looking over here at what's going on, how big, bad Putin is being so bad, and poor Ukraine, something is going on as the Kansas City shuffle. And we're about to get fucking slapped in the face. I feel it. Like, I feel it in the air. Like, it's one of those things that you're just like, huh, there's nothing going on. There's no dangers. And you look around, boom. You know what I mean? It's just like right before you get fucked. It's just like calm. Kind of like almost too calm. Yeah, I don't know. But this, I mean, there's a lot of ways that this could play out, but one of the ways is us looking bad. And us, I mean, like, no pun intended, the U.S. People ask me who I would fight for. I say the winning side. But no, the language I'm speaking to you in now is the language I intend to continue speaking. And even though it is not my first or second language, it's my favorite.